Welcome to the grimiest spot on YouTube. I'm your ghost, and this is a PSPstreet. Considered the worst PSP you can get, and it's also the cheapest. I throw quotations on that because you either see these for cheap as hell, or they're over $100 because someone thinks these are rare. They aren't. These are cheap. If you buy a Street, you have a PSP with no Wi-Fi, one speaker, poor build quality, a smaller battery, really bad viewing angles. Just bad viewing angles, a massive UMD slot that makes it feel like you're ripping your console in half. Like, look how big this is. This is massive. Compared to any other PSP, it's the worst build quality. I guess it's plastic. The matte finish helps it make it look a little bit more premium, but I mean, as soon as you touch this thing, you just feel how flimsy it is and poor. 1000 right here, and like this has like a metal banding. It feels really nice. It's hefty. The UMD slot, only on the first one it does this, but that's really nice. Like, that feels great. As opposed to this one, you take your fingernail, open it up, and it's so much lighter. Like, you can just hear it. And like I mentioned with the battery, you can see it. See in here, yeah, right there. So when it comes down to me taking this boy apart to replace that battery, you have to take off this entire back plate and then unscrew this battery, and then boom, you replace it. So that's gonna be fun to do someday. So funny enough, this console actually came out around the same time as the Vita, or at least it was announced along with the Vita and shit. This is the last PSP that Sony made, and they cheaped it out. This is the European model, so I forgot to mention that this is the PSP E1000 as well. They only made this for Europe because I guess Sony thinks you guys are poor. But this is so cheap in comparison, and there's also no Wi-Fi. I don't remember if I mentioned that, but like, this is supposed to be their budget model, and then they came out with this pretty soon after. And I do apologize. It's a little, she's been a little ill. This is the PS Vita, and unfortunately, she's a little ill right now. If you've seen my other videos, you know what's going on with her, but we'll bring her back out in a little bit. So why'd I buy this? At the time, I didn't know this was a PSPstreet. I saw this at a vintage like gaming store. It was just sitting there. It was alone on the shelf, alone and scared. And I was like, well, I'll buy it. And as I was purchasing it, as I was buying it at the checkout, the guy was like, hey, that's actually a European model. I was like, in my head, I was like, oh, wow, this must be rare. And, you know, I checked online and did research and found out this is actually the worst PSP you can buy. And being the stubborn man I am, I'm telling myself that this is a piece of Sony's worst history. That this, I'm justifying this purchase for myself because it's a goofy piece of history and just the goofiness about it. Is this Sony's worst handheld? No, this is. And if you're saying, well, that's not a handheld, okay, fine. Well, what with this? This is their worst handheld right here. Okay, you might be saying that's a streaming device. Okay, fine, you win. This is the worst handheld they made. This is definitely the worst one. So should you buy one? No. No, don't buy one of these. Like, if you're like a collector and shit, I guess, but you know, I'm just a dummy, and I have it now, and I'm not selling it. It's mine. But you know, just get a 1000, get a 2000, get a 3000. Hell, just get the 3000. That has like the best screen, best specs out of everything, and you could probably find one for, maybe if you're lucky, for just a little bit over 100, maybe even under 100. I actually got this. Like I said, this is a 1000. I got this. I know I got this for under $100, and this thing is really crisp. But if you want to spend a little bit more money, come back here. Ugh. Like I said, she's sick. Could just get one of these, jailbreak it, and put Adrenaline on here, and you have a PSP emulator. This thing has an OLED screen, and then like you have the Vita 2000, which is an LCD screen. But I mean, you can just get this, and you don't need to get a PSP at all. So what do you guys think about the Street? Are you guys gonna get any kind of PSP, or are you gonna go with the Street and hit the fucking pavement? But before you hit the road, if you enjoy this type of content, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and stay filthy.